Hi there, my name is Colin Griffin from Purchase.ie. I recently gave a talk to the e-commerce Ireland group in Dublin, and some of those that attended, and indeed some of those that actually couldn't make the event, asked me if I would put together some presentation slides on it. And to be honest, I felt slides by themselves just would not explain what I've got to say, so I decided I'd go a little step further and put together the slides with a voiceover on top. And basically what the talk was all about is about generating traffic. It's like an online seller's perspective, somebody at grassroots level, I suppose, ultimately trying to make a living out of an online business and doing it all by themselves for the last 3.5 years or so. And the results I'm going to talk about, it's real results. It's I use the Google Analytics reporting tool, so it's actual factual figures that I will be discussing. And what we're going to do is we're going to break this into 5 different parts to avoid you being completely bored to tears. Part 1 is going to focus on really, I suppose, what I do on a day-to-day basis in my job, what's involved and so forth when you're trying to do this all by yourself. And I'm going to go on and talk in part 1 also about things I'd really like to see you doing before you get started, or if you're going into relaunch phase, I'd like to see you doing. Or secondly, I'm going to just also talk about things I definitely would like to see you avoid doing. Now, this talk does come with a health and anti-social life warning. So if you're thinking of starting an online business where you're going to sell stuff, do be aware it is extremely hard work if you're trying to do it all by yourselves. So Purchase.ie is a business that specializes really in selling products to help customers save on energy bills, conserve water, and I suppose ultimately save them money in the long run. And when I started this business out 4 years back or so, I had no technical skills. I was able to send an email, receive an email, but that was pretty much it. Very limited knowledge of online marketing strategies or anything like that. And rather foolishly, I had absolutely no retail experience either, and my background was advertising sales, which I thought was the hardest job in the world. I thought if you could sell advertising, selling a physical product would be quite an easy process. So I had very limited budget, and I guess what I did have was I had plenty of energy, I had plenty of attitude. I had a willingness to learn and to work extremely hard, and without that, there is no way that the business would have survived as long as it has done. So I'll just talk a little bit about day-to-day business on a day-to-day level. What I do really is I write all the content for the site. I'm the front-end developer for the website, if you like. I take care of uploading all the content and managing the site. I optimize all the content for search engine traffic, which is an extremely long and grueling process. I also look after email marketing, video marketing, press releases, PR campaigns, chasing backlinks from external websites, analysing online traffic and user experience, and updating pages with a very high bounce rate and a low conversion rate. And when I say bounce rate, what I mean is if somebody comes to your site and if most of them basically make the decision to, after viewing one page of your website, to get the hell out of there, what you got to do in that case is you got to go in there and make some changes to ensure that your website is more engaging. I also look after social media accounts. I look after the Purchase.ie eBay shop account. I deal with sourcing new products, ordering products, paying suppliers, processing orders, creating delivery dockets, packing the orders, managing the stock. I look after accounts for the business, creating invoices, dealing with revenue, dealing with the banks, dealing with trade customers and wholesale accounts. I supply on a wholesale basis, I supply quite a large number of hardware stores around Ireland with some of the energy saving products that I sell online. And I also organise and manage competitions and promotions, the creation of brochures, the very occasional print adverts, pay-per-click advertising campaigns, and answering the phone on a day-to-day basis. So I guess some of you might be in the same boat as me, but if you're not, do take the health warning that comes with trying to do it by yourselves. And ideally, if you can, form a team of people with skills in different areas that are good and enjoy doing the different aspects of the job. And it's probably a much more positive way to go about selling online. So today I'm going to be talking strictly about ways of getting online traffic to your website. If I was to talk about converting this traffic into paying customers, it would be a completely different talk. So for now, we're just going to focus on getting the traffic in the first place. And I suppose before we jump into generating traffic itself, I just briefly want to go over some things you need to work with your developer on before you launch or relaunch your website at all. I suppose essentially what this is just website architecture from the outset. And there's one very, very important 6-letter word which starts with the letter G that I think should dominate anybody's thinking. And this word is not genius, it's not ginger, it is basically a word called Google. And in Ireland, Google has a 95% search engine market share. Bing has 2% and Yahoo less than 2%. This is essentially when somebody goes to a search engine and keys in something that they wish to look for, it's 95 out of 100 times it's Google that they're using. International figures are a little bit different. In the US, the latest figures I have to hand at least is that Google have about a 67% market share, Bing about 17%, and Yahoo about 12%. So what I would say is selling online without installing Google Webmaster Tools and Google Analytics on your site, it's kind of, I suppose it's essentially like trying to find a needle in a haystack in the dark, and you're blindfolded and you got no arms and legs and you've drank about 14 pints of Guinness. Register your website on Google. Create Google Plus and Google Places accounts. Add a sitemap to the root directory of your website and do cross-browser checks on your website. See if all your pages look okay in Google Chrome and on Firefox and on Internet Explorer. And take into account that about 25% and rising of the traffic coming to your website is going to come from smartphones and from iPads. So make sure that your website can facilitate this. And finally, for today, I just want to say, make sure your site has reader-friendly URLs for each page. And what I mean by this is that if your website is, for instance, greatshoes.com, and one of the products you sell is black leather shoes, the URL should be something like greatshoes.com/black-leather-shoes, as opposed to what I see with a lot of companies that are a lot bigger than me and have a lot bigger budgets than me. They're using URLs to the effect of greatshoes.com/product4067x. This is just lunacy from a search engine optimization point of view. Yes, I see some of Ireland's leading retailers using this type of strategy. It makes no sense whatsoever, but there is plenty doing it, and that is probably why something in the region of 70% of the revenue that Irish consumers spend online actually leaves the country. We have to get better at selling online. In front of you there is just a few different links to different things that might be of interest to you. from statistical information to just a little link to the e-commerce Ireland meetup group, which takes place once a month, and we get some guest speakers in to talk about different aspects of selling online. So that's all for this part of the seminar. We will focus in part 2 on generating traffic through on-page search engine optimization. Also, I'm actually going to go into details on the purchase.ie traffic and where it is coming from, and a breakdown geographically where it's coming from and so forth. So thank you for your time, and hopefully you will join us again.